Fire, 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 fire. Ooh, look, another pick-me girl. Ooh, I get called that often. Why do you crave the attention of the type of people that want only attractive women in games? Obviously, there's nothing wrong with enjoying attractive men and women in games, but likewise, there's nothing wrong with having games that don't go there. So, this person clearly has a mental disability. Nobody cares if you want to make a game with ugly characters. That's not the point, right, chat? The point is that these woke devs are ruining existing franchises by either making existing characters fucking hideous and nerfing their outfits, or, you know, making them a little bit less attractive than they are originally, and then making their outfits less revealing, or by making a new game like Concord with the ugliest designed characters possible, and then getting mad and gaslighting gamers like us for not wanting to play it and being like, oh my god, the gamer incels shut down on yet another beautiful, wonderful studio because you don't show up and play the game. If you were an audience that played and bought the game, the studios won't shut down. It's not like people have the power to unironically stop people from succeeding. If you're succeeding and you're making money, it doesn't matter how many quote-unquote incels are gonna cry about it, because you're still making money. Do you not understand how that works? People will cry outside of a coffee shop if it's, you know, a bad coffee shop, but if people are still going in and buying the coffee shop is still gonna exist. It's so fucking annoying. I hate this. Like, you want to make a game with ugly characters, please go ahead. There are video games that have good artistic merit. There are characters that are ugly and they have a story, they have a personality, they have a background. Nobody's arguing that. Be my guest. I don't give a shit. If it's fun and it's not about the aesthetics, I might even play it. But don't pretend like the problem isn't that you're literally co-opting existing franchises and making the existing characters and outfits uglier for your own virtue signaling or political bias. And then you cry about it on Twitter when nobody's interested and nobody buys the game and can clearly see what you're doing. People are starting to, like, understand, like, hey, I'm not actually part of the problem. I'm just a dude that wants to play video games and have hot characters on my screen. Or play good video games that are fun. There are plenty of video games that don't feature women in scantily clad clothing that are just good video games, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring. Even Where Winds Meet, I don't think there's that many sexy outfits. Like, yeah, they're a little bit, you know, like, they're beautiful and grand, but, like, at the end of the day, it's not like they're scantily clad like in a gacha. There's obviously the opposite side of the spectrum when you play, where you play Zenless Zone Zero and her ass is, like, jiggling every time you friggin' look at her, but, you know, there's modest games, too. Can you see their ankles? Yes. Game Society doesn't guarantee the game dev studio will stay open. Taco GameWorks. Yes, obviously. Like, there's different logistics to it, but at the end of the day, if you're making a lot of money, the capitalist society that we live in will succeed if you make money. Unless you're like, you know, what's that game that got shut down by Microsoft, even though it was like a game out breakout success, it just didn't make enough money. But anyway, I'm getting into like a sidetrack. I'm getting sidetracked. If you're not interested, like, again, video games are primarily for men. Like, there are girl gamers, they like Animal Crossing, The Sims, they like World of Warcraft. Like, there were always gamers, but it was a minority. The majority of the demographic that plays video games are men. That's why when you make an opener of like, hey, new girl, do you play video games? And she's like, no, I just do my makeup and I watch YouTube videos. That's the vast majority of women that exist. Like, normie women, yeah, they don't play video games, or maybe they do and they play, like, I don't know, Tetris on their phone or like Candy Crush. None of these dudes that play video games want fucking retards like you infesting their fucking hobby and then demanding a change to accommodate them. No, you have to change this girl's outfit. It makes me feel uggies. No, I look at this video game character, it's so unrealistic. Her titties are just too big. I've never once even thought that. Never. Even when I was a child and I didn't know what like sex was and I didn't understand like what is sex appeal, I still gravitated towards characters that I found appealing to look at. It's not even that deep. Even little kids understand like, oh, it's an appealing character, like it looks like my mom or my dad or whatever. Like you just gravitate towards them. Kids are also really cruel as well. They see someone who's like not conventionally attractive, like I've seen people like scold their kids for saying nasty things to like disabled people because they don't have a filter. They don't understand what social cues are yet. It goes both ways. Yeah, gain some confidence. Why do we have to cater to your lack of self-confidence? Look at this X-Men for his recent example. Yeah, exactly. None of these dudes want this shit, man. And if you want to succeed as a video game company in general, just like as a flat brush stroke over the video game industry, you want people to buy your game. You want to succeed. You want to make money. The characters generally should be hot. The gameplay should be good, and the story should be worth investing your time into. It shouldn't be boring. It should be cool. It should be relatable. That's what people want. That's what makes people want to play. Pointing that out doesn't make you a pick-me, you fucking moron. I hate this mentality of like, oh, Alana, you just say things that men want to hear because you're a fucking pick-me and that's how you make money. Yes, that's true, but I also think that unironically, and that's what sets me off when people call me a fucking grifter. I've played World of Warcraft for like forever. And the game has gone downhill because the story sucks, the Sylvanas isn't hot anymore, and all of the characters that used to be in the game, they're either ugly, or they're covered up, or the characters that they make anew aren't attractive or interesting. It's that simple! It's just so easy to understand. Oh my god, I might have to censor this. Okay, I might have to censor that. This whole discourse around attractive women is laughable. The fact that it even exists is proof how far we've fallen. That I even have to talk about it is insane. Society went from admiring beauty to punishing it and vilifying the men who still dare to appreciate it. It's all rooted in resentment towards men. Always has been. True. And that's what I actually talked about yesterday with how women are told from a pretty early age due to social media that men are bad, that you shouldn't even try. All men are bad. They're all gonna essay you. They're all gonna use you. If you're not hot, then they're not gonna talk to you. And then you figure out that like most men will talk to a 5 or a 6 as long as she's nice, she can cook, she's willing to like work with you and deal with it. Whereas women are way more fucking picky across the board. It's literally been proven through various statistics and studies and research being done on dating apps and outside of that. Oh my god. By game journal, that's why men have been shamed, mocked, and dragged for decades. By game journals, bitter feminists, and every other ideological leech. Yes, women envy beautiful women, but it's not just about looks, it's about who desires them. Men. They hate that beauty draws male attention they'll never get, so they lash out. They sabotage what men enjoy. Games, hobbies, entertainment, anything that gives men joy. They want it bitter. They want it ruined because no man wants them, and deep down they know that, but blame everything except themselves. Now it's not just women. It's soy dripping pussified men too. I want to say this is that an annoying thing that I've noticed as a girl, just like online and maybe like in passing from like working a 9-to-5 job, when a man gets dumped, a lot of the time people tell them to pick themselves up by the bootstraps and that, you know, you need to go work out. Like, you might be a short king, but you know, you can go lift some weights and still look good, and you can get a 6-pack or like get big muscles, right? But with women, a lot of the time they're told that they weren't the problem. Like, you know, a girl gets broken up with, and 9 times out of 10, unless they're super introspective, they don't like have a glow up. They don't change themselves. They might change their personality a little bit. Maybe they become more bitter. Maybe they become more, you know, sociable. But if like the problem was like, oh, you know, I'm a little bit fat and like I should stop eating Oreos all the time after dinner and like having like chocolate milk and blah 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 blah, a lot of the time The propaganda that I see online about men is like, oh, well, you're fat, or, you know, you're short, and blah, blah, blah. In that kind of vein, the response to that from other men is not sugarcoated, and they tell them, you need to work out. You need to, like, get fit. It'll make you feel better. And even if it's, like, not sugar-coated a little bit, they always tell you, you need to start working out so that you can sleep at night, so you feel more confident, and you can talk to girls and take rejections better because you're confident in yourself. Whereas women, the opposite is done, where it's like, if a man rejects you, it's like, oh, he's just not good enough for you, girlfriend. Like, it's that. 9 times out of 10. A lot of things aren't our fault, but everything in response to it can be fixed. Yeah, but but with women, it's a lot of the time, it's told by other women that you don't have to change, and I think that's the crabs in a bucket effect that happens. Yeah, he's the problem. Yes, queen. Like, he was the one. It's like, no introspection. No, like, oh, what could I have done better? Maybe, like, maybe I should have done something. Maybe I should have said something when I felt bad. Men who know they'll never be wanted by the woman they secretly crave, so they turn on other men. They shame, they moralize, they shame them, they moralize, they pretend it's about progress, ethics, or whatever, but it's envy, pure pathetic envy. Yeah, there's a lot of people who would say I'm a grifter and say I don't actually believe in the things that I believe, but there's a lot of men who purposefully degrade themselves, and I don't mind having men say jokingly, like, oh, all men are bad, haha, you know, men tend to be more misogynistic and not masochistic, they have machoism. But when you're constantly degrading yourself, that's not attractive to a woman. I don't know how to explain it. Like, there's a difference between self-deprecation and joking about yourself, but like, if you do it constantly, maybe it's the same effect for men when women talk about themselves in a bad manner. I don't know. I don't see women in that way. I don't want to have a relationship with a woman, but I feel like when you constantly degrade yourself, it's not attractive. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe, like, men feel the same way about women when they constantly say, like, oh my god, I'm so fat, but they're not actually fat. They're just, like, I don't know. Women have these moments where they say they're fat just so that their man gasses them up or whatever. Like, when was it attractive? I don't know. I'm just speaking. I'm sorry. I'm yapping. Anyway, so they turn on the man. They see men enjoying beauty and it burns them because it reminds them of everything they'll never have. But that's just fucked up. You can change yourself. You can lose weight. You can put on makeup. If anything, honestly, I think it's very funny that women have this superpower of, like, putting on makeup and making themselves look a lot better than they actually do. Because you literally put paint over yourself. That's ultimately what makeup is. Women can cheat. Men can't put on makeup and, like, give themselves high cheekbones by painting it in, right? Or give themselves blush if they're pale. Like, guys can't really do that. Like, you can a little bit, but generally speaking, it's seen as an effeminate action. Yeah, contouring and whatever. Ever heard of beards? Yeah, but guys can't... Guys can have beards, but some guys can't have beards. They don't grow them. It can be a genetic thing. Women can buy makeup and put on makeup and use cheap makeup to make themselves look good. Yeah, like, I would counter-argue a lot of people are self-conscious about their beard because they can't grow one. Whereas girls can go to the store and buy themselves makeup. Beards hides my triple chin. Damn. Good for you, I guess. But anyway, my point is, the women have a lot of, like, leeway in how attractive they can be perceived, and also men are more lenient about, like, oh, you can be skinny fat as a woman and you will find a guy that is 1 or 2 points above your level as long as you compensate with that with, like, oh, maybe I stay home and cook and clean, maybe I'm a great housewife, maybe I'm really good with kids, and, like, men will see that and will be there. That feeds into this, like, protective nature that they are built to, you know, built to have. through evolution. They see a woman taking care of kids and they're like, oh, that's so sweet. She's a kindergarten teacher. You know, maybe she's a little bit ugly and like her teeth are a little bit crooked, but you know, she'd still be a really good wife. And this goes the same for like women, I suppose. Like if they see a man that's really good with like kids, you know, I don't think it's a negative thing, but I think that because of the caregiver nature of females versus males, when males see a female that's a kindergarten teacher and she's amazing with kids and they're all super happy and, you know, that kind of thing, I think that feeds into it more of like overlooking flaws in physical appearance. Yeah. So she might not be like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, but like on a, you know, on a scale, it bumps you up a lot. Now it's bleeding into everything else. It's stifling men's creativity, choking their artistic freedom, making them second guess every idea, every design, every character. It's infesting their work with fear. I actually have this. My character, I thought initially I was being a little bit too much. I thought this too. Like, again, I'm not a man, but I made my VTuber model in mind of like, you know, being appealing to myself, but like appealing to an audience, right? And I thought I was being too much. I thought the skirt was a little bit too short. I was worried about it outside of like Twitch guidelines and whatnot, but I thought like, oh, I don't want bare legs. I'll wear like socks or thigh highs or something, right? It actually does. And I've also gotten a lot of shit from random people on Twitter criticizing my model and saying like, oh, well, your model should be a lot uglier. You're only popular because your model is attractive. And I'm like, yeah, it's part of the reason, but it's not all of it. Like, you're being a disingenuous freak. Like, obviously, if you have an attractive model, it gives you a lot of bonus points, but at the end of the day, you have to put in the work behind it and also be entertaining and have a personality. It's not all about the model. No. Stop being jealous. Yeah, it's a lot of people just jealous when you succeed, but like, I don't get jealous when I see other people who are succeeding better than I am in terms of like viewership or Twitter followers or whatever else. Like, I'm not a clout chasing demon. I'm actually quite happy. I always analyze people through the lens of being a content creator. If I see an attractive model, I'm like, damn, I wish I thought of that first, because I don't want to copy them. If I ever get a new outfit, I'm like, I don't want to copy them, but like, I really like that idea. I wish I could have thought of it first so it wouldn't be perceived as copying. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. It's infecting their work with fear. Yes, correct. Not fear of failure, fear of offense. Fear of being torn apart for creating something unapologetically male. And I've been told this too, like, oh, Alana, you're so male-coded. Like, you should start appealing to women. I'm like, do you realize that women like the things that males do in terms of, like, physical appearance? There's a joke, there's a running gag with people on the internet and in general is that women are kind of bi. Like, no matter what, they might not want to be in a relationship with another woman, but from a physical perspective, they like tits and they like ass. Not in the same way that a guy looks at a guy's pee-pee or, you know, looks at their butt and is like, damn, that fucking looks good. Like, I don't know, maybe guys do, but like, I feel like women are way more bi-coded than men are on a general level. They don't go looking at another guy's pee-pee and are like, oh, yeah, I'm a woman. I think Alana's model is adorable. Now, are you attracted to the opposite sex? That's what I want to know. See, I need to know. I wish I could take a census without being too weird about it, because I don't really care if you like girls or not, or if you're like whatever, like a trans queer, whatever. But my point is like, I wish I could just ask and say, hey, if you're a lesbian, do you like my model? Or are you straight and you just really appreciate it? Straight as a board? Well, we got one census. I would love to see it. I mean, you know, I can't ever do that, obviously. It's like a privacy thing, but I've always been curious. Fear being torn apart for creating something apologetically made, so they water it down, censor themselves. They are afraid to make games like Dead or Alive now. True. Afraid to show beauty or desire. Afraid to create anything bold, sexy, and fun. We used to have that back in the 2000s when games were fearless, when sex appeal was celebrated and the creativity wasn't policed, when artists could make what they wanted without begging for permission, and the result, a trash culture that's hollowed out, drained of soul, and offended by desire. Yeah, I mean, gosh darn it, holy shit. I don't know how much I can show of this, but, you get the idea. Yeah. Again, I agree with this post, and I bet you a lot of people freaked out and were saying, like, things like, oh, well, you're being a pick-me. Haley, you're gross. I can't believe you're saying this just for a paycheck. I hate this shit. I hate it so much. You really don't think that I would say that people like us don't exist? Dead or Alive was peak? Yeah, like, it's a volleyball game, but, like, I mean, if you want to goon, you can goon. And that's, again, that goes back to my double standard of, like, why are men allowed to goon to men that are, like, half shirtless, or they're, like, touching their hand, or they're making, like, you know, they're making obvious sex jokes, but men aren't? It's kind of weird. Like, people can make jokes about, like, the new Marvel Rivals, like, you know, male characters having, like, a bulge, but if a man says, oh man, look at those nice pair of titties, like, that seems as, like, misogynistic, or, like, gross, or, what is it called, machoism? Can we see your closing argument again? No! I'm kind of scared. I don't want to get banned off of Twitch or something, or I'm gonna have to censor this on YouTube, so keep that in mind. Again, it's so bad. It's so bad. This is the majority of what's happening at the end of the day. It's not 100% of it, but it's definitely the vast majority. Everyone has seen, like, the memes online of a dev studio in, like, 2008 making a banger game. And it's all the male nerds in the group photo. And it's all the devs, right? All the people that contributed to the game. Sound, whatever, design, graphic design, whatever, combat. And it's all men. And then if you look at the same game in the franchise, like Halo, for example, or COD, the most recent one was COD, where it's a group photo and the dev is like, the dev group sample that they took the picture of is 75% women. And you think that's not correlative? Are you kidding me? And the game is ass. It's skibbity toilet. It's literally skibbity toilet in Call of Duty. I don't know, I'm starting to see a pattern. I have pattern recognition, I'm not crazy. And again, we've seen this example time and time again. Now, this doesn't mean that all women make bad video games. That's absolutely not true. But it does mean that there seems to be, like, a certain pattern of behavior with certain type of people trying to infiltrate dev studios, video games, movies, whatever you name, whatever you want, making them conform to, like, these personal beliefs that these women have, and then tainting it. That's something we've also talked about many times. And in this case, a lot of these people are women. There are men, of course. And yeah, this kind of draws back to it. It's like, she also, like, says, like, IRL soy jacks. There are men that do this too. That's happening as well. The problem is that it's not just that they want to co-opt an existing game or make a new game that turns all these, like, characters ugly or changes them or censors them or puts, you know, more clothing on them. And then it's not true to the remake or the remaster. Everyone knows that's not all they're doing. The fact of the matter is that whenever the fucking public finds out about this kind of thing and finds these Twitter accounts of these game devs that are sabotaging these, like, great IPs like Halo and COD, is that they always have, like, it's always the same exact type of person. 5 different flags in their bio, you know, pronouns, blue hair, political activism on their profile about how they went to this protest and everybody else should go to it too. and all their posts are shit talking other games for having hot characters. We've seen this so many times. I'm not even making this shit up. It's real. It's out there. Like the Halo guy that said that we shouldn't have guns in Halo. The guy that says, I hate guns in real life, and I think it's kind of makes me uncomfy that guns are in Halo. Like, how do you fucking unironically type of shit? And they don't even try to hide it, which is honestly a good thing because you can call them out on it. But so no, the problem isn't that these are just like innocent women and effeminate men that want to make a game with more modest characters. The problem is that they are malicious and politically motivated fucking freaks that want to mold and see that other video games, and they want to peer pressure and change the industry to fit their worldview. Vegan working at a steakhouse? Yes, it blew my mind. It's the guy that was in charge of designing the guns. Said that he doesn't want guns in Halo. The gun that's the founding father of like fucking fantasy sci-fi shooting genre. Like, are you kidding me? That's why Halo sucks now. There's a myriad of other things, but it objectively sucks. Bungie's going down the tubes. I've said this 1,000 times at this point. These people need to fuck off and make their own games. But they don't. They never do. If they do, they then cry on Twitter about how their game is failing and how it's all the incels' fault. But nobody shows up to buy their game. Concord is the perfect example of this, by the way. It's just the pinnacle of it. Their only option is to try and co-opt existing IPs and franchises like Dragon Age, like Halo, like what's it called? Dragon Age, Halo, what was the other one that was on the tip of my tongue? Not Elder Scrolls. Whatever, another one. Another fantasy type of franchise. Everyone can see through this. This is why it's appropriate to call them out as they are. As what they are. They're fucking parasites. Yeah, Gears of War, the most manly game. I was never interested in Gears of War. Ever. But my brother loved that game. I never was interested in it. He had it on the computer. I never played it though. I thought it was kind of a little bit too manly for me. But my point is, it's like Gears of War. Nobody gives a fuck about that franchise anymore. Nobody cares about Halo. It's very dead. And everyone can see through this. It doesn't make you a pick-me if you're a girl calling this out. Or a man, if you're a man, people calling you an incel. You're not an incel. I think the word is so fucking overused. Pick me, incel, Nazi, whatever else people fucking call you under the sun on Twitter by these Twitter freaks. It makes you someone with functioning eyeballs and a high enough IQ that you have pattern recognition, that you've seen this happen over the last, like, I want to say 15 to 10 years, where it's gotten gradually worse. And people are just like, I don't know, I'm starting to notice all these fucking rats running around trying to ruin your video games. It's disgusting. It's sad that the word retard is underused while it's being taken back. Women sabotage each other to make themselves feel better. Once women were pushed into gaming and nerd culture, they simply contained this behavior against fictional women. They can't help it, it's their nature. I don't know, man. It's so bizarre to me that, like, I never actually thought about it in this way. That the crabs in a bucket effect. What did I say? Fuck. I think I combined crabs in a bucket with fuck. It's the crabs in the crabs in the bucket effect, but in real life. Oh my god. Blah, 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 blah. Crabs in a bucket. Oh man. I lost my train of thought because of that. God damn it. The crabs in a bucket effect has bled over into video games. I guess I didn't interact with enough women in like a dating pool or anything like that where I would notice people gassing you up even though you're not that attractive. I never did that kind of thing. I never liked engaging in it because I always thought it was kind of weird and bullying. And now as an adult, I don't go outside and talk to other people. But my point is that I only see this kind of behavior online, and I guess it makes it more obvious because people can't like go back and hide behind like, oh, I said this like, you know, 2-3 months ago. I don't actually think like that. Like, the internet's forever. As a straight man, I'm tired of being treated as a pariah by spiteful, obese women and jealous homosexual men. I've personally done nothing to these people. I've always kept to myself. If this is their idea of teaching acceptance and tolerance, it's encouraging me to do the opposite. I also agree. There's also been a lot of controversy regarding, I see this is a Warhammer profile picture, I'm pretty sure. There's been people that, like, just have like these niche hobbies. Like Warhammers, I still think is a relatively niche hobby, and it's slowly being like not co-opted but changed over time, and I think it sucks. There was a big controversy with how they let in female characters that were not supposed to be female characters in Warhammer. I forget what the drama was about specifically, but it basically didn't make any sense in the lore. We got ads in one. Okay. I'll just finish this up really quick. Okay, this is fine. I just get scared sometimes. Anyway, I was gonna give you simply for the well-articulated post that I happen to agree with, but the fact that you have DOA pictures illustrated as a cherry on top for me. I know, and again, you wouldn't see this kind of game ever published in this day and age. The only way you get this type of content is in gacha games. And those are made in the East. Gacha games aren't made in the West anymore. You don't see this kind of content in the West. Like the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, they're all making these games. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is the dumbest fucking take I've ever read. The reason why so many women are comfortable with over-sexualized women is because they often what the word down to be. Their sex appeal is often the only thing about them, and it dehumanizes them. I'm gonna make this my closing statement. If I truly said what I believe about women, I think chat would get a really red-pilled, because I think it would come across as really misogynistic. I like women. I like attractive women. Stop being an obese, ugly, stupid woman. I don't like it. I think that being sexy makes you put in a lot of work into yourself. I think that shows that you care about your body, that you're trying to, you know, pass on your genes to your children. I don't think it's inherently bad to be sexy. Men and women. I love sexy men and women. I think, I truly believe that putting in so much fucking work into your body, and even if you're mildly unattractive, it can be canceled out by having care for your body. Women these days are ugly on the inside. Yes, that's another thing. I'm not gonna get into it, but I truly believe that women and men, because of how the internet is, it's like this delves into like psychological, you know, factors of like social media and how people say the nastiest shit online because they're anonymous. If you said this to someone in real life, like if you said someone is sexy, people would be like, oh, thanks a lot. But if you call someone ugly online, it's like people are just allowed to fucking say things no matter what. We all love women, but man, they make loving them a headache. True! People watching ads are missing out on wow, what a huge red pill take. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not.